heard of the freedom fighters who fought to spark change in the world. They changed the course of history, and today we know their bravery, their sacrifices, and their names. From the times that the British ruled over us, our ancestors fought together in the fight for freedom. And they all had one thing in common that made them so inspirational: sacrifice. They sacrificed themselves for the better of our country, the better of our future, the better of us. And they knew that even if they managed to change the country, even if they managed to give us a better future, they would never be able to see the changes that they made, because they would die doing so. So we need to be grateful for what they have done for us and respect the sacrifices they've made. We need to follow in their footsteps and sacrifice too. Maybe not big sacrifices, like saving the world, but small sacrifices, like giving up something you enjoy to do something someone else enjoys, or actually doing your homework instead of doing something you would rather do. Recently, an event happened that enraged and weakened families and individuals across the country, or even across the world: the Belgaum attack. It hurts to know how many lives were lost just because of religious differences. And it hurts to know that if our freedom fighters were alive today, watching this happen, they would feel so disappointed. They would think to themselves, is this what we shed our blood for? Is this what we fought for? So we need to be grateful for what they've done. In my speech today, I'm going to be shedding some light on the lesser known freedom fighters of our country, those who have the same impact but are not known as much. My first person is Matangini Hazra. Being originally from Bengal, she grew up in a poor family, so she had more interest in politics. She led marches and protests against the British, gathering thousands of people. As the crowd got closer and closer to the British soldiers, the British got overwhelmed and started firing at the crowd. Matangini Hazra, being quite old at the time, still held the flag high in her hand and kept marching forward. Even after being faced with 3 bullets, she still kept walking forward. And in her final moments, she fell to the floor, but her hands were still wrapped around the flag. My second person is Tara, someone who had a similar story to Matangini Hazra. Her bravery is unmatched. Her greatest times being in the Quit India movement, she led protests and marches against the British. Even after family members were shot by the British, she still kept marching forward because now she knew she had a promise to keep. My third and final person is a little bit more popular than the other 2 I talked about today. Anvi, a woman who, despite being a foreigner, loved India like it was hers. When she first came to India at 45 years old, she fell in love with the religion, the traditions, and the culture. She became part of several protests against Britain, her own country. She joined the INC and was crucial for bringing members from across the country together in the fight for freedom. Later in life, she founded the Central Hindu College in Varanasi that educated several students on a much higher level. And in her old age, she was imprisoned by the British, but forced to be released after threats from the locals. These freedom fighters broke themselves fighting for us, and they didn't get anything in return, but they still did it. They sacrificed for us. A quote that really represents them from the Bhagavad Gita goes like this: Karmanya vadika raste, ma phaleshu kadachana, ma karma phala heturukuma, te sambutsavagana. This quote says that you should do your duty or your job without wanting the fruit of your work. You should merely do everything you do for without wanting your reward. And the people I talked about today did the exact same thing. So I want to end my speech with a quote from Dr. Anvi, who wrote the Constitution of India. He says, "Those who forget history cannot make history." So let's follow in their footsteps as much as possible and as far as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Anvi, for that inspiring speech. You made us all think about the greater good of the community, not just think about our own small little world, self-centered, our own small families, but the community in large. Thank you. And